Hello guys, welcome to Real Time Podcast. Real time, real people and real stories. Today we are talking about when dreams delay. What do you do when you're not yet feels like a no? My name is Michelle. Thank you for joining.
Hello guys, my name is Eugene Chen. Join us for this amazing topic when dreams delay. What do you do? How do you handle it? This will be a very, very interactive and informative podcast. Make sure you join us.
Well, brother Jim, before we begin our today's discussion, I wanted to ask you just two questions so that our viewers, together with myself, can get to know you better.
And get to know you.
And get to know you also better. So the first one, since childhood, as a person that is living in Kisumu or Kenya, what is one thing that you have always had in abundance?
In abundance.
Yeah.
I think for me, growing up, I had a lot of friends and a lot of time, of course, because I was a kid, work was that. So for me, basically, it's just friends and time.
You never lack friends or time?
Not until puberty. Not until puberty. I had a lot of friends, yeah.
So when puberty crept in, things just went haywire?
Not for with them.
For them? But you lost friendship?
I lost a lot of friends. In my teen years, like 13, 14, like,
You were growing up?
yeah. I realized, I can survive being an introvert. What about you?
Well, for me, I think the one thing that I always get is that support and love from family, friends, because the people that you know make a lot of impact to the person that you become. From the time that you were a child until the time that you become 7 years old. Because there's something that says when you give me a child that is less than 7 years, then I can make them what I want them to become.
Yeah.
But as soon as it's after 7 years, then they're already the person.
That's
that I
good.
want. Yeah. So I think as a young person, I'm always, from the people that I've known to be in my life, to be there for me, I've always had that. I felt that love is coming from them.
That's kind of sweet.
Mwah to all of you out there. Mwah. Now the second question. If you were to have a sitting with one influential person, either in history or in present day in time, who would it be and what would you ask them?
For me, I think it's Edgar Allan Poe.
Edgar
Allan Poe. He's a poet. I think he lived in the 80s or 16, and he wrote a poem called, the poem is titled Annabelle.
1880s.
Yeah.
1980s.
But I think 1980s or 18 something there. In those centuries. Yeah, it's sort of like he wrote the poem Annabelle, and then the poem, it's more of a blind spot, like why question why God had to change, because Annabelle actually he wrote the poem after like experiencing many tough things. So like the poem kind of like creeps into like his lifestyle after losing a wife and writing the poem in cautious God. Why did you have to take my Annabelle? Was it because she was more beautiful, like the angels are comforted? So like,
it was like from a real story.
From a real story. So like I would like to know what was going through his head when he was writing that. Because a few years later then he dies in an asylum. He went to Norway and he died in an asylum, but he kept on writing in the asylum. So I really want to know like what was going through because he was it's not speaking of truth about you.
One influential person I would want to sit with. I'd want to take an evening stroll with my dad. I don't know, my dad he's influential in my life. He's been for the little time that I are just, he always says a lot of things. But then even if he says a lot of things, there always just one thing, and it kind of shows up when they need it, whatever he says to me. So I want to slow like that. I want to sit down in the morning, mama in the afternoon to interview a person. Perhaps I would want to meet I mean, it's just, I don't know, I've had a lot of great things about him. But then I think you never truly know a person until you get to sit with them and have a conversation with them. Even a 5-minute conversation is enough for you to change your picture of how you think a person is. So I don't want to sit with them. And that's what I think. So I'm not going to ask me to sign. If I would get that chance, I think I would take even 30 minutes or 1 hour to just be there. Just to me.
But for Barack, what I've heard, the people who have met him, like, they say it's the same person on the screen. It's not different. One person who had the chance to meet him was, when the state president was Trevor Noah. Trevor Noah was in the time when he met Barack Obama. And then he says, even in the camera went off, he still remained to be that cheerful, like, vibrant kind of guy. Okay. So, yeah.
It would be nice to be that older.
Yeah. Okay.
Such kind of a man. So, in our topic today, when dreams play.
When dreams play.
Have you ever felt like
Before we got there, you have a quote.
You have a quote for when dreams play.
And you have to tell me what this means to you. It says, I can't like close the person who said it, but it says, when you reach at the end of the rope, tie a knot and hold on. When you reach at the end of the rope, tie a knot and hold on. Do you know that phrase that people always like to be like, oh, I'm at the end of the rope, I need help. It's the same thing. This person says that when you reach at the end of that rope, then tie a knot.
Tie a knot. Hold on to it.
Yeah.
Wait, stay there.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Don't let go.
Yeah.
I think if I were in a moment of my life that I was feeling so down and low, and I was feeling like I was at the end of the road, and then they would tell me that quote, that when you reach the end of the road, tie a knot. I think it kind of means that hold on to what you have, and what you always have is your heart. Because they say, what I do till God does. Because when we live as Christians, we are waiting for God to do something in our lives, right? So in that process of waiting, what I do until He does, what He promised He will do, or what He's going to do in my life, they got into worship. There's a pastor that calls worship, yeah. What you do in that period of waiting, and that's just full of hopelessness, and some are filled with hope, some are filled with joy, some are filled with nostalgia, calling immediate things. What you do until He does is worship. So, and to worship God, you will do it with what you have.
Yeah.
And what you always have is your heart. So I think I hold on to what I have in my heart. If I were to hear that quote, ni kama tu inaniambia, shikilia tu roho yako, hiyo kidogo kinaweka roho yako. Subiri tu kidogo.
I was thinking the same direction, right?
Yeah.
I've also been in a situation that things are not coming through and I was feeling at the end of the rope, and I think that was the first time I interacted with this coach. So for me it's a bit perseverance in that moment, because when you reach an end of the rope, the only thing you can do is to let go.
Yeah.
But now when it says time not to hold on, it's like staying in that situation, perseverance times come, because help will surely come. And there's a Bible verse in Leviticus. It's about, I think there's somebody who was mourning, and then he writes a hymn or a psalm, and it's called, I'm forgetting the name of that psalm, but he was saying that let people, even David, let me use the example of David because he saw this entire example. we are studying second summer with some of my friends, and somewhere, and then when he was like at his lowest point, I think that's the lowest state that's when his son chases him out of something, and then he's in the wilderness wandering. And then there's this guy, I think it's called Michelle or somebody, who's throwing stones at him. Bushai, not stone shy, throwing stones at him and cursing him. And then one of his servants tells him, like, just say a word and I'll go and cut his head off. Why is a dead dog talking to you like this? But again, David tells his servant, like, let him speak to me like that, let him know me. Maybe God will see and apply afflictions and I'll put you on me. So I think that kind of like telling him about it.
Stay there.
Yeah, stay there. Like the psalm was talking about us speaking like when you are in your lowest moment in the morning, embrace that pain, like let people speak bad about you because God does not cast people out of his presence forever. He will surely see your pain and come and save you. So when you're going through hard time, like it never lasts. Like God will surely see your pain come through. So that's
and if he has brought it your way, also it's because he wants you to go through it.
Yeah, to go through it.
Just go through it.
One of them was amazing verses in Psalms 23 that people bypass is when I go through the valley of the shadow of death. Like it's not like when I go to the valley of the shadow of death, when I go through, I'm passing through. So I'll be at the end of that valley and I look back and say, oh, that was like hell for me, but I went through it and it's stay like
Yeah. Well, that's a nice quote. Eugene, have you ever felt have you ever came to a point in your life that you felt like everybody else around you was moving except you? Things were changing, things were rounding up for them, but you were just there. Because sometimes as Christians, sometimes we pray, sometimes we plan, literally, we pick up and writing, we say we should put our visions in paper, right? And sometimes you dream, and then you put up a clear vision of how you want your life to go. But then it doesn't always go like that. It takes longer for me than it does for somebody else. We might be friends since childhood, we might have grown up together, but the way things are going to turn out for you is not the same way they're going to turn out for you, right?
Sure, for sure.
So you have definitely ever felt like your friends are moving, your mates, your peers, they are taking steps to grow themselves, but you're just in the same spot. That's what we want to talk about today.
I was like, hey, I saw that.
So, from the time that you came to know about kids, the time that you came to know that there is something called visions and there's something called dream. Unakulala na kuota, alafu unakutamani kitu mbeleni. So what's that one thing that you have desired or dreamt about or wish to have that is still alive in your heart but you haven't seen it yet, you haven't achieved it yet?
I think for me, it's for the longest. It's financial independence. No, financial. I have two dreams. There's the long term dream, it is to be financially independent. But my short term, like I gave it 5 years. 5 years. And I gave myself 5 years. I gave myself 5 years to be financially stable. But my long term is to be financially independent. Yeah. So I haven't achieved financial stability yet. I haven't achieved financial independence.
But you are still hoping.
I'm still hoping, I'm still hoping.
For me, one dream of desire that I've had is to do something for my mom. I always want to do something big. I don't know what yet. I just have this idea to just planning, but I'm like, even if I do that one thing, there's a part of my heart that is about fulfilling to someone. I'm like, you've done it. Yes, so I'm still looking forward to that. That can come that can come tomorrow, that can come next month, that can come next year. I don't know. So it's just something that I'm simply waiting. But then waiting can be tough. Right?
Yeah.
Waiting can be tough. However, it's in the wait that we get to know the kind of people that we are. If you are someone who is patient with life, someone who just wants hurry, you know. So how have delays in dreams, how have those delays shaped the person that you are, the way that you think about your journey and about your life, or your growth? How has it shaped your growth?
I think for me, it's take the delays. It's funny, I used to call them challenges. Like I take the challenges, as a test of faith for me. Yeah. So like anytime there was a delay in anything in my life, then I learned perseverance. I keep on reminding myself what is faithful. Yeah, so like people like praying, and sometimes you go to go in a very desperate prayer because that was your last shot and then change nothing. So you learn more about yourself, say you learn more about God. So for me, what is the question?
How have delays shaped the way you think about your journey? Or how have they shaped your growth?
I think I've grown more in faith because I always tell myself like you cannot go down. I think I like to admit, you cannot go down the mountain when you haven't climbed up the mountain. And climbing up is always the hard part. So you cannot learn the faithfulness of God if you've never tested the faithfulness. You cannot learn that God can provide when you don't lack. So I think for me, it has always left me a better person, a better Christian than I was before I went through that whole process. And then you learn that God will continue to be God, even through the delays, like it doesn't make me less alone. And then it will also make you to learn was I following God for the materialistic part of it, or because it's God. Yeah. So it has always left me a better Christian.
Well, I think from everything that you have ever planned, from everything that you have ever planned, but the majority didn't go your way. I think for me, I usually take it as not as a setback, but they may be called setbacks, challenges, or whatever. But it's usually like it's a sign that bado haujalan kenye God can teach. Because Pastor Stephen said that if God is taking you through a season of challenges, it means there is something that He has already taught you before then that you are supposed to apply in this season. Like you haven't learned it yet. Yeah. So if you have it, then it's about taking your apply it. Because even when you go to school, you're taught and then you're given exams.
Yeah.
You're tested. Have you learned whatever you were taught and can you apply it, right? So I think it's the same. He just tests you. He just gives you a test. And once he has already taught you the lesson, so now it's time for you to pass the test. And with the passing of the test comes the good results ahead, right? So I think it's a learning process.
It's a learning process. It's a learning curve.
Learning and you really growing as a person and a human being.
That's so profound.
Yeah. So how do you stay grounded when others seem ahead of you? At first we were talking about feeling like you're left back because your friends have gotten to another level. Yeah. So how do you stay grounded? How do you still continue trusting and having faith in God? Because niliapa pamoja sasa. Sisi tumefanya anything bad, tu mwangaza yao inafanyika sana. Na wao wanaona kama yako bado. How do you stay grounded? How do you keep your faith?
I think when you try to keep it yourself, the more you mess up. We are not that strong. So I always try to rely on Him. the one of the promise. I mean, he gave me the promise and he told me something like, allow this is the one who gave me you. So if it's truly from him, then I tend to like say how to stay grounded, how to stay grounded and so on. Like if you say it will happen, then it doesn't matter if it takes 1 day, 1 month, 1 year, or a decade, or a century. Like I keep reminding myself that he's faithful.
Yeah,
He will do it. Yeah, he will do it. Like that's it for me. Staying grounded in His word. I think there are a lot of characters in the Bible that teaches us that. One of them is Joseph. The story of Joseph is so profound because he received a vision when he was 17, a boy of 17 years old. And then the vision came to pass decades, like a lot of years later.
Yeah.
So what he had was the dream. I was telling you earlier that Joseph was given a dream. He was never told he would go through the pit, he would becoming a slave or the prison. Yeah, so he was only given the dream that one day people will bow down before you. So I was thinking like if I'm Joseph, I'm in the position of Joseph, and then I was to be the prime minister, like, and then I'm in a pit. My brothers are trying to kill me. I'll be like, I sign up for this. Yeah. So like, Joseph really teaches that like he never spoke a word to God that he questioned God's authority, or he never doubted the promise, the dream that he had. Still held on to it. Like things were really in such a natural manner, but again in a supernatural manner. Because when you see, like, if he wasn't in the prison, then he would have not become the prime minister. So it was like, it was natural to be arrested for what he did, but again, this was God's plan. So like, going through the natural seasons in our life, like I learned, but again, it's God's plan for me to mark so that I may learn something, or that I may get to where He had promised earlier. So like, staying grounded in His word and learning on the character. Another thing is to remind myself how I stay grounded, because I remind myself God's faithfulness in the past.
Yeah.
This is a virtue I learned again from my dad. Learning God's faithfulness from the past. You keep on reminding yourself. I like the story of David because David was that one person who always reminded himself of what God did in the past. When he was fighting God, he said something like, the God who brought me from the bear and the lion will surely deliver this uncircumcised Philistine into my hand. So he reminded himself of the victory he had in the past. He never saw the challenges ahead to be such a big threat because he had already seen God's faithfulness. So even in my life, in the little faith that, or in the little time that I've walked in salvation, I know there is something to that I overcame in the past that I can say, like there's a time I laughed, but again it became true. So this time will always he'll do that for me. And sometimes reminding yourself like that can be very hard. So another story that I'll tell you to reminding myself is the story of Samuel, the story of Ebenezer, when the name Ebenezer how it came to be. Like the Israelites in the middle of a war, surrounded and they're trying to pray. And then God did His thing, and then they win, supernaturally they win the battle. But Samuel does an amazing thing. He puts a stone to the place where they chase those people, and then he says, this stone shall be called the stone of our help. Like that stone stood there to remind them of the victory like they had, like God is their help. So anytime they be in the same situation, they remind themselves of God's faithfulness when they see that stone. So always try to do something that will cause you to remember what God has done in the past. I don't know, it might not be a stone like somebody.
It could be a writing.
Yeah, it could be a writing, yeah. To remind yourself, like, I was in this situation like 3 years ago and I overcame it.
It was hard.
It was hard.
Sometimes you can even like write in the moment.
Yeah.
How you're feeling at the moment. And then after you get over it, come back and check if I was able to go through this.
Yeah.
Then even in the future, you go through much more, right?
Yeah.
I think that's great. So as we try to end this a little more practically, I want us to think of a moment that you have, that you had something that felt like a delay, turn out to be the right time. Like when you had a dream, or you had a hope, right, in something, but then it can't come out, it's taking too long. But then after it came, you realize that it was meant to be at this time. Maybe you can share with us a story, it could be something that you have been praying for, and then you didn't get it until the time that God decided that you would get it, and you actually got it then, and you're like, if I had gotten at that time, maybe singekuwa hivi sana. Or maybe he was still preparing all that while before he actually grants the promise.
I'm trying to think in my own life and I'm not seeing.
As you think, after I could share mine,
Yeah.
as you think. And after primary school, we were told that the first students would be granted first year scholarship, Form 1 scholarship in high school. That is
the same
primary
first year.
That's from primary school. So you're done with our KCPE, and then we told the first people we're gonna reach out to people. That was from the school, not the government. That was from the school. That was from the school. And if you do well, the first grade will not be do well from one school if you get it. And never at public. So we finished and I get that opportunity by God's grace.
Number one,
So we're
jump to the school.
we're just 22 in my class. Is that a big deal? So everyone was really excited because at least I should want one year to plan my school fee for the other years. So we go to Form 1, Term 1, and then my school fee is paid. My school, boom, COVID comes. That was a very scary moment because when COVID came, it didn't just shake our school again. I got my school in the economy and primary school in Europe, so they were not able to open up to the promise throughout the entire Form 1. So again, it's a roller coaster because we now start to look for scholarships everywhere. We went with my mom. Actually, we went before I joined school. I was going to have my Form 1 school fee paid, but then school after Term 1, we got a start to senior. So they said Term 1, Term 2, Term 3. So we're looking for a scholarship for the rest of the forms 2, 3, and 4. And we went, and we walked in this room. Remember, we didn't know the kids sana, but I remember the places that we were walking to. But then, when we went for his places, I don't know, I just had a feeling in my heart that they weren't for me. Because I would get there and I would see other kids and I'm like, how are you doing? I would go for the interview, but I didn't have any hope that I would get a scholarship. My mom was very hopeful. So we went, I would sit for the scholarships. We were interviewed and we looked at the interviewers and I was just, people to our work, and this in a heart, in a rose, So to get to come and I'm like, see you. Tunachina kwengine, and that went on until we actually joined school. And then after COVID, we went back to school. We were called to the assembly by, that was at the time, my biology teacher. Alikuwa na head the scholarship that was coming from people from Spain, so that I didn't know. So when I went to announce the assembly, I just immediately felt like this one is for me. So when I was going for that interview, I actually wrote the letter to a friend of mine together. We were in the same class. We were coming from the same time. We did the writing together and then we submitted. I don't remember whether she submitted hers or not. It was in Form 1, so it's a bit trusty. But I remember submitting mine and I remember even shedding tears when I was writing this application. Because I had written many others. But the one really heartfelt, I didn't have any tears while writing this
for the
But then this one, I remember I was in tears, I was writing my story on that paper, and I knew that this one, I didn't know. So I submitted, and then I went for that interview, and after that, I was so happy because I was like, God, you have done it. After the first the results, I was like, God, you have done it. Because I actually really felt like this was the time. I have tried so many times for God to deny this one. So after that, I went to church, prayed with a friend of mine, and then I was there. But I didn't tell my mom when I was going to apply for this scholarship. That's back. Now that's when I told her.
God's this.
Yeah,
Wow.
I got the scholarship. Because I was like, okay, so is this was something you kind of fun? Mungu alikuwa anajua because they were not very certain. They were being started to raise a picture and then ikuwe shaken up kidogo. But then hii ni kitu imekuwa ikigo it's a foundation organization and the sponsors are just beyond Kenya. They go even all the way to Spain and they are meeting. So you need to show it to their body as well as when you keep up to your end of the bargain, they will keep up to their end all the way until university. So I felt like wow, so good because these are the things that Peleka high school and then that's it. But how the country university all the way until you're able to stand on your own. I was like wow, because the opportunities in there that time.
Yeah, then
you
you
miss
block you.
this chance.
Wow.
So, see guys,
That's wow.
God is making you wait, just wait.
That's the most like powerful story of my life.
Yeah, because someone will answer you, it's coming for you. Can deliver it anywhere else.
Wow. See.
Different to yours.
Thinking of my love, like, I didn't get anything. Because I was so into that. See God. See God. But
Doing it.
See, but I think I haven't been in such a scenario, but growing up, there's certain scenarios that examples that people have always been using. For example, you're praying for financial independence without have discipline. So, like sometimes there's that delay so that you may learn the discipline. Because even if you're given the financial independence right now, you're going to waste it. Still go back. The story of the prodigal son. I feel like if he would have waited, probably, and learned to be responsible, like the elder brother working the field. So, like for the elder brother, he was like, this is delay for me. Like my dad doesn't even with the youngest lamb to kill and dine with my friends. But if you see how the story ends up, the dad says like, all I have is your single.
Yeah.
Like the youngest son already trained to be share the property. So basically all I have is yours. Like if you would have been given also his share of the property back then he would have ended up the prodigal son. So like I think that's the story for me. Like maybe in that season to work in the Bible, to wait, to learn. Basically to learn. If you haven't learned anything, like in your delays, then I think it's a waste of time. It's not from God. Like
You have to take the lesson.
you have to take the lesson
before you move on to the
next
next.
step.
Yeah.
So that has always been for me.
Okay. So as we have come to the end of our very, very productive session, I had this lesson that I was learning from Mr. Steven. He was teaching about not now, not something like that. It just has something to do with our topic, when dreams delay. So I picked up 3 points that I want to share with you guys from what he said about what to do when you feel like you're at your lowest. What do you do when you feel like everybody else is moving ahead, but you're stuck, not knowing what's going to happen next, or how it's going to happen, or when it's going to happen. You're just there with the hope of a better future and a brighter one, but you don't know from where to start from. So he said that the first thing that you can do, there's just 3 things. The first thing that you can do when you feel like everybody else is in their own world and you feel like you're alone, because most of to be a friend to you. Everyone, and you come up with Maramoja, but you haven't had their contact. Every one of them, list them down. You can write a list of 15, 20, 25, depending on the kind of social life that you have. But then, after doing that, the second thing you do is to pick one of all the 15 or 20 or 25. Just pick one of them, one of your own choice, and then reach out to them. But then the third and most important thing that you have to do is after reaching out, you have to release your need for them to respond. Because they might not always respond. They will not always respond. Because maybe they're also going through something. They're also in the middle of something, just as you are. So just write the contact, pick one and reach out to them. Writing the contact will make you see that you are not alone. You have choices, you have options of getting help. And then reaching out to one and releasing your need for them to respond will give you the idea that if they don't, then you're always there. You are the only one who are able who is able to pick yourself up, right? Dust yourself off, get back in the game. That is something that you can always have the power to do for yourself. When the devil tries to make you feel like you're alone, get back to your contact list. Write them down, write those names down, and you'll see that you have more than you think you do, right?
That's a nice one, nice one. And if you're not sure, then I'm here, and you have my number. You can
always reach out to him.
You can always reach out to him. But I think sometimes it's always weird to pick a call and just call someone and then start pouring out. Yeah. So, because they might be in the middle of something, maybe we begin about watch a kidogo, then you're like, let me just cancel that out. So maybe what you can do if you have my contact is send me a long voice note, and be sure that I'll listen to it. Like that's something that I always try to encourage people around me. Like, when you feel like if you call them and disturb me, just send a long voice note, speaking, or even just or even just hold on to that voice note icon and don't say anything. Cut off and silent.
And then I will tune in. 1 hour full of
1 hour of silence. Like, just reach out. Yeah. So that's profound because when you think like you don't have anybody to reach out to, but again, it's not always the truth. Like you have amazing people around you that you always reach out to and they listen. So the lies that maybe they are true because I don't know. Like I don't call my friends in Yakuna number all of them. I think there's a time my sister stopped talking to me like 8 months. Like she was not calling me, she was not texting me. Like we're not in good terms totally because I didn't like call. Like she's always the one calling me. So she's always like, "Why don't you see what So every time I pick the phone and try to call her, I think like maybe I'm on a class, maybe I'm on a client, maybe I'm busy. She's going through a lot. Maybe like but just reach out. That's something I'm struggling with. Like sometimes I'm gonna this might be very trouble for me because I choose it. But just try to reach out. Just try to reach out. And if you have your number or you have my number and I don't reach out, then that's what I'm battling with. If you reach out, then I'll be happy to respond. People who call me are very surprised that I'm gonna hello. I'll be happy to respond to phone calls, but like making phone calls, that's a weakness I'm struggling with. But hopefully, like in this season, I'll learn to reach out more. Yeah, but even send those text or voice note or silence.
Wow, silence message for 1 hour.
Yeah. So any potential from you?
Well, as it close, I don't have a potential, but I have a question. I want to throw right at you without your knowledge.
Late Baba ChatGPT.
So, as we come to the end of our session, EJ, maybe you could share with us, maybe you could not, I don't know, share with us, please share with us. What is one thing that you have, a short-term goal that you have for or this coming season of your life that you have put in place and that you have decided this is what I want to work on. Maybe it could be on yourself, maybe it could be on your relation to others, like your family member specific, just something that you want to achieve short term in this coming season of your life before we end this year. And what is driving you to achieve it?
I think I already said it earlier, like achieving financial stability.
That's 5 years.
That's the short term I have.
5 years.
5 years.
Now I just want for this last quarter of the year.
But last quarter, before the end of the year.
Yes, in 2025.
Before the end of the year, like I've started a new year for me in this month. So like what's for this is to
Birthday.
is to make is to have how to say it. I think last year I prayed that I should have many new friends in this in the year, and I did have friends. So I think for me is to be intentional with those friends, not just having a list of 50 friends, but having like intentional relationship with the friends. So that's the goal for me, to be so deep in their life and then being so deep in our life. So deep in your life that I know, hey, you never share this that's somebody who knows you. Like, this is from Pikachu. Kiss your spread the back. Kiss your onions on the yeah. So, like, building that intentional relationship. That's it.
Thank you guys for joining us today. It's been a wonderful ride. I'm pretty sure you did better competition jacket. For me, that's it. I hope to see you again very soon. Thank you for joining and tuning in until the very end.
So my parting shot is, you have a dream. We all of us have a dream. If you're alive, then you have a dream. Even if it's to wake up the next day, it can be so short. But you all have dreams. I had an analogy earlier, the story of Joseph, where he was given the dream that he was going to be a prime minister, but he was not told the things that he was going to go through. That's it for all of us. I think it was for Bill Gates and all other successful people that you know. And it's the same for me, it's the same for you. We are never told the challenges that you're going to go through. Something that I think I learned that helps me go through that is an analogy of a movie. In a movie, it's starting is doing really well, the person is the star of that movie is having a bad family and life, and the main character is having good time with the family probably, and everything is just perfect. What the movie is a candy. Kazini to dance to supermarket. Yeah, that's it. And then suddenly somebody dies in their family, or they go through a very rough season. It's always called the climax of the movie or something like that. So when you're going through the climax of your life, one thing I do in a movie or in a book when I read is I fast forward till the end. It's so silly. And post the movie let's go to the end. This guy didn't die, this guy survived and still had my main character in that movie had a good child. So that's it for me. I'll go to the end of the movie and then you watch it from there, and then I'm like, and then he smile and then I'll come back and like, this is not intention, it's just a season. So yeah, that's gonna be an escape code for you, just pause a minute, like you're in the middle of a challenge or you're at the end of the rope, like you might watch. So just pause a minute, go back and review, go fast forward in life, and God said that at the end, I'll still be financially stable, like for me, or I'll do, the thing that I wish to do for my mom, like share, or be the, whatever dream you have. So go to the end and I'm living this right now, but God is faithful to the dream that He gave me. I'll still end up as a prime minister like Joseph, because even in the middle of the pit, God is still faithful. He doesn't make him a lesser God is backwarring His children. Yeah, so like that's a parting shot. Even in that season, hold on, challenge and hold on, and wait for God. Yeah, so that's it for me. If you've come this far watching this video, then you probably had an interest of learning a thing or two. So please do us the favor of liking, subscribing, and commenting. Those three. It's free. You're not getting paid, or you're not paying to subscribe. If you have a free time, just press that subscribe button or like or comment. It goes away a long way, encouraging us. So I love to thank the 40 subscribers that we have right now, and the 70 videos roughly there. So yeah, I'd love to thank you all for being part of this community. You are the reason why we are shooting this right now, and the people who are going to like this and comment on this and subscribe on this will give us the motivation. What is the motivation? The motivation. Shooting the next one. Yeah. So thank you all for being with us. This is Real Time Podcast, as I say.
Real time, real people, real stories. I got it this time.